Ladies and gentlemen, there is a moment in every life when the noise of the world grows so loud that you can barely hear the whisper of your own destiny. A moment when distractions compete for your attention, when fear knocks on the door of your purpose, and when comfort tries to seduce you into staying exactly where you are. But today, right now, I want to talk to you about one habit. Just one habit that will not simply improve your life, not just adjust your life, but change your life forever. And that habit is this: the discipline of showing up for yourself every single day, not occasionally, not when you feel inspired, not when the conditions are perfect, but every day, because destiny doesn't respond to desire. Destiny responds to discipline. You see, everybody wants transformation, but very few want consistency. Everybody wants elevation, but not everybody is willing to climb. Everybody wants breakthrough, but not everybody is willing to break the habits that have them bound. Showing up for yourself means choosing growth over comfort, purpose over procrastination, and destiny over distraction. Let me tell you something. There will be mornings when you don't feel strong, but strength will come after you show up. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, but motivation will come after you take the first step. There will be seasons when people don't understand what you're doing, and that's fine, because your calling wasn't sent to a committee. Your assignment doesn't need permission. Your purpose does not require applause. Your future is not waiting for a crowd. Your future is waiting for you. You want to know what separates the extraordinary from the average. It's not intelligence. It's not talent. It's not luck. It is this one habit. Asterisk, asterisk, consistency without applause. Commitment without validation. Showing up when nobody sees, nobody claps, and nobody thanks you. Asterisk, asterisk, growth is not built in the spotlight. It is built in the shadows, when you push through doubt, push through fatigue, push through fear, and say, I will not quit on me. Let me speak into you. If you show up for your mind every day, your wisdom will grow. If you show up for your body every day, your strength will grow. If you show up for your purpose every day, your future will grow. And if you show up for your faith every day, your courage will grow, your vision will sharpen, your spirit will rise. Hear me, life won't change when you want it to. Life will change when you discipline it to. Your next level is not waiting for a miracle. It's waiting for your habit. Your breakthrough is not stuck in the future. It's locked inside your daily decisions. Your transformation is not somewhere out there. It's shaped by the choices you make in silence. If you want a different life, create different habits. If you want a powerful life, build powerful habits. And if you want a life that changes forever, commit to the one habit that changes everything. Asterisk, asterisk, show up for yourself every single day. Asterisk, asterisk, because the day you stop abandoning yourself is the day your life will never be the same again. There is a moment in every life when the noise around you becomes louder than the voice within you, when the opinions, expectations, and pressures of the world rise like a storm and begin to drown out the quiet whisper of your own destiny. And if you are not careful, if you are not intentional, you will start living by the volume of the world instead of the direction of your purpose. This is why so many people feel lost, overwhelmed, exhausted, or disconnected from the path they were created to walk. Not because they lack potential, not because they lack opportunity, but because they have never disciplined themselves to show up for their own lives with consistency and conviction. The greatest shift you will ever experience does not begin with a crowd, a miracle, a breakthrough, or some sudden moment of inspiration. It begins with one simple decision, the decision to stop abandoning yourself. You have shown up for people who didn't deserve it. You have shown up for situations that drained you. You have shown up for obligations that never fed your soul. But when it comes to showing up for yourself, your growth, your dreams, your healing, you have hesitated, postponed, negotiated, or excused it away. And yet the life you desire, the strength you pray for, the breakthrough you imagine, they are all waiting on the other side of your consistency. When you practice the discipline of showing up for yourself every single day, something inside you begins to change. It is not loud at first. It is not dramatic. It begins quietly, like a seed pushing through soil. Growth rarely announces itself. It simply begins. You start to feel a shift in the way you think, in the way you speak, in the way you carry yourself. You begin to separate what is urgent from what is important. You begin to prioritize purpose over pleasure, growth over comfort, long-term vision over short-term feelings, and the more you show up, the more you begin to recognize that destiny does not respond to desire. It responds to discipline. There will be days when your feelings try to talk you out of progress. Days when your body says you're tired, when your mind says it's too much, when your emotions say, not today. But those are the days when showing up matters the most. Because transformation is not built on convenience. It is built on commitment. Anyone can move forward when inspiration is high and everything feels easy. But true elevation is born in the moments when you show up despite the resistance, despite the doubt, despite the discomfort, despite the absence of applause. Your future is shaped not by the days when everything goes right, but by the days when you refuse to quit even when everything feels heavy. When you commit to this one habit, you begin to take back the authority of your own life. You stop waiting for motivation and start creating momentum. You stop waiting for ideal conditions and start moving in faith. You stop looking for permission and start embracing responsibility. Every time you show up for yourself, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. And those votes accumulate day after day until eventually the balance shifts and you realize that you have become stronger, wiser, clearer, more disciplined, and more aligned than you ever imagined. Showing up daily will sharpen your mind, strengthen your spirit, and awaken your potential. It will teach you to trust yourself again. It will remind you that growth is not an event. It is a practice. It will reveal that excellence is not an act. It is a lifestyle. And slowly, steadily, silently, you will begin to rise from the inside out. Everybody wants transformation, but very few are willing to build the consistency that transformation requires. We live in a world addicted to the idea of instant change, instant results, instant elevation. People want the reward without the routine, the breakthrough without the process, the success without the sacrifice. They dream big but act small. They speak boldly but commit lightly. And when the change they desire doesn't appear overnight, they assume they are failing, not realizing that the greatest shifts in life happen gradually, quietly, and internally before they ever become visible on the outside. The truth is, your life will never rise above the habits you practice. You can pray for a new season, but if you carry the same patterns, you will repeat the same cycle. You can wish for a new level, but if you cling to old behaviors, you will sabotage the very future you say you want. Growth does not come from wishing, hoping, or dreaming. Growth comes from daily decisions, a small, intentional, sometimes uncomfortable decisions that move you toward the person you are becoming. And the most powerful of these decisions is the willingness to show up even when your feelings don't follow. Discipline is not glamorous. It doesn't glitter. It doesn't excite the crowd. It doesn't post well on social media. Discipline shows up in the early mornings when nobody sees you. It shows up in the late nights when nobody is cheering. It shows up in the quiet spaces where the only person you are accountable to is yourself. And this is where real battles of life are won, not in public but in private, not in the moment of applause but in the moment of decision. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you desire to go. And every time you cross that bridge, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more aligned with your purpose. There will be moments when you question whether the effort is worth it, moments when progress feels invisible, moments when the old version of you tries to pull you back into familiar patterns. But if you stay consistent, if you keep showing up even in the absence of results, you will begin to notice something powerful happening inside you. You will begin to develop an inner strength that circumstances cannot shake. You will begin to build a resilience that setbacks cannot destroy. You will begin to cultivate a clarity that distractions cannot blur. Consistency births confidence, and confidence unlocks capacity. Most people never discover what they are capable of because they quit before they see the results of their labor. They stop at the first sign of discomfort. They give up when the journey demands more than they expected. But you must understand that greatness is not something you stumble into. It is something you step into day after day. Your daily habits are shaping you even when you don't see the evidence. Your consistency is investing in a future you may not fully understand yet, but is waiting for you to grow into it. What feels small today will become significant tomorrow. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you are rewriting your story. Every time you honor your commitments, you are strengthening your identity. Every time you push past your feelings, you are expanding your capacity to carry the weight of your destiny. This is why consistency is so powerful. It transforms you in ways motivation never could. Motivation is a spark. Consistency is the flame. Motivation comes and goes. Consistency stays. Motivation inspires you for a moment. Consistency shapes you for a lifetime. The life you want is not built on what you occasionally do. It is built on what you repeatedly do. And when you learn to embrace discipline not as a burden, but as a pathway, you will begin to realize that the limits you once believed in were never real. They were simply the walls built by inconsistent habits waiting to be replaced by intentional action. Growth is not built in the spotlight. It is built in the quiet corners of your life, in the unseen spaces where nobody is watching, where nobody is clapping, and where nobody is validating your effort. The world celebrates the finished product, but rarely acknowledges the process that created it. People admire the result, but overlook the discipline, the sacrifice, the lonely nights, and the moments of doubt that shaped it. And if you are not careful, you will start believing that greatness just appears, that strength just arrives, that purpose just happens. But everything meaningful is forged in silence long before it is revealed in public. There are seasons when your progress will feel invisible. You will show up, you will try, you will push, and yet you will wonder if anything is changing. But growth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it hides beneath the surface like a seed buried in the dark, quietly breaking, quietly stretching, quietly preparing to rise. Just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean it's not happening. Transformation often starts with tension. Before the seed emerges from the ground, it must first endure pressure, cracking open so that something greater can come forth. And this is where many people turn back. They crave growth without discomfort, elevation without stretching, success without sacrifice. But every new level demands a new version of you. You cannot step into your future carrying the habits, fears, and distractions of your past. Something has to break. Something has to shift. Something inside you must be willing to surrender what is familiar in exchange for what is possible. And that exchange is never easy. It costs you convenience. It costs you excuses. It costs you complacency, but the reward is far greater than the price. You will face moments when showing up feels pointless, moments when fatigue wraps itself around you, moments when self-doubt whispers louder than your desire to grow. But the strength you're searching for doesn't come before the effort. It comes as a result of it. Strength is formed in repetition. Confidence is built through consistency. Clarity emerges from discipline. You cannot wait to feel strong before you move. You move, and strength will join you as you go. Every time you show up in silence, you are building something the world cannot take from you. You are building resilience, the kind of resilience that refuses to collapse under pressure. You are building identity, the kind that does not depend on applause or validation. You are building vision, the kind that sees beyond the present moment and recognizes the future waiting for you. Silent seasons are not signs of stagnation. They are invitations to deepen your foundation so that when elevation comes, you can sustain it. People may not understand what you're doing. They may not see the value in your dedication. They may underestimate your progress because they cannot see the work happening behind the scenes. But you must remember that your purpose was not assigned to their understanding. Your calling was not designed to fit their expectations. Your destiny is not waiting for their approval. Growth is personal. It is sacred. It is between you and the future you are building. The world sees the athlete on the podium, but not the early mornings, the pain, the discipline. The world sees the entrepreneur succeed, but not the failures, the fears, the long nights of uncertainty. The world sees the healed person standing strong, but not the tears, the reflection, the difficult decisions that led to that healing. The spotlight only reveals the outcome. The shadows reveal the truth. And the truth is that what you practice in private determines what you display in public. So when you show up on days when nobody sees you, you are laying bricks. When you push through discouragement, you are laying bricks. When you choose discipline over distraction, you are laying bricks. And one day, those bricks will form a foundation strong enough to support your purpose. One day, what was built in silence will speak loudly. One day, the effort that felt invisible will become undeniable. Greatness is never an accident. It is the accumulation of small choices, steady habits, and quiet victories that happen long before the world ever takes notice. And while others may only see the finished story, you will know the truth, that your rise began in the silence, in the shadows, in the unseen moments when you decided to keep going, even when everything around you told you to stop.